Alright, Trial Mob, big shout out to the usual suspects, Skelly, Patrick. I'm sure Damon had something to do with some of these photos. And of course, the community for keeping us in touch to make sure that we are touching base on everything that's coming out. Big news on the Joytoy side. And while it's not on here, I did add a few minutes of the fresh retro stuff. So please make sure you stay until the very end to make sure you catch a little bit of everything. But until we get to that, let's go ahead and break it down. Alright, Charbob, so a couple of updates from Skellywag's earlier video. So these are the mechs that we've seen before, the new mini mechs, and they will be releasing sometime in probably early August, meaning pre-orders will be up in July, which is really close and around the corner. And we did get an actual name for these guys, so they're known as the North. Which probably means we'll be getting a lot of the other ones, East, West, and South at some point, so it'll be cool to see what that looks like. And here we have them called the Firehammer Assault Mech on the left, which is a pretty badass name. And then here we have the Snark Commando Mech, though some people have said that there's a discrepancy, that apparently it might be Snake, but Snark has been the way that they put it. I kind of prefer Snake, but if they decide to go with Snark, it is what it is. Skellywags also was letting me know that it has been basically verified that each one of these will come combined with their respective pilots, which is absolutely badass because I definitely wanted them to already come with their own pilot. Granted, that will rise up the price significantly because these run at least 30 something dollars, and a mini mech is probably going to run close to 80, so you're looking at probably triple digits for the whole set. But I'm sure that for a lot of you it will be well worth it. So this is definitely one of the ones that we are getting. Not quite sure which one this one is supposed to go with. We really don't know what the actual set is going to be, but this is that new body that I just told you guys about before, and I think it looks great. It looks really nice. I think that this is going to be an overall better look and better action figure in your hand and for posing, with those slightly updated joints and everything else. And then, of course, this is the new female that we're going to be getting, and she looks absolutely badass. I think that there was some talk about how this is a bit of a reuse in certain places, but I honestly don't mind. I think the gun looks great, and that's kind of one of the things that gets me here. I love a lot of the guns that Joytoy gives us, but a lot of these more realistic modern guns rather than like the futuristic ones are much better looking in hand. So I think that this is a really good figure, and I think they knocked it out of the park with that face. She looks absolutely stunning, so definitely nice to see that. And then, of course, we saw photos of the upcoming dogs as well. And as you can tell here, they have them with a World War II figure. So I'm not quite sure where they actually fit in. And they could probably fit in anywhere, right? They're dog units. But they look good. And for the most part, articulation does seem to look, as realistic as you could for this kind of figure. So that's kind of cool to see. Now for the big news that I know you guys have been waiting for. Well, it seems to be that Joytoy is going to give us an actual announcement of when these will become pre-orderable on June 26th of this month, because that'll be their 6-year anniversary since becoming a company. Can't believe they've been in production for 6 years, but that'll basically be the day that we get the full, basically how much they're going to cost, where they're going to be located, whether or not they're going to be exclusive. I highly doubt that they'll be an exclusive to any one company. This should be a mass release, so I'm hoping that that won't be an issue, but it's definitely cool to think that we are literally just a couple of days away from a big reveal. Now, it's also been stated that we are going to be getting basically these cards that go along with each and every single one of these figures. So you will have 8 cards overall, and they should have basically lore in each and every single individual soldier, which is really dope. It makes these guys that much more cool. They're not just cannon fodder infantry, even if they are cool looking cannon fodder infantry. But on top of that, they are also going to be unique characters with some kind of backstory. And I personally appreciate that because obviously there's heavy lore, but it's nice to see that maybe there's going to be a little bit of extra lore here. I know that everybody is thinking what I'm thinking. Number one, this is a dope ass fucking photo. Oh my god. But it's not just the fact that this is a dope photo and these are dope figures. We all want Joytoy to obviously bring more of these, more unique characters, more heroes that you guys might have seen before in Warhammer 40k. And I'm hoping that they will do that as well. So, having these little cards that come with them just give it that extra level of collectability that I think I'll personally like. And then obviously just to see, some extra effort put in by Joytoy to authenticate these kinds of figures. Now this is where Joytoy and Warhammer 40k are really going to shine, because as you guys know, both Joytoy and Acid Rain with a lot of their stuff don't necessarily have a storyline going, Warhammer 40k is such a rich lore, sci-fi fantasy that, they have so much to pull from. These guys right here could be the very, very same guys that did ABCD from Warhammer 40k, and you're going to be like, holy crap, this is what these guys are based on. And they could do that continuously. So it's really dope to think that, while they might look like unnamed characters or like any other of the characters you've seen before, that won't be the case once you get them in hand. Knowing that extra bit about each and every single one of these is honestly just going to make it that much more, wantable, right? This isn't just a Spartan. That's 117 and 113 and so on and so forth. Obviously, those are Halo references, but just so that you understand, right? They're not just basic random Marines that are in here. These guys are going to be named with lore, and that's absolutely amazing. Now, switching over to Fresh Retro, we got some photos of more of the stuff that they're going to be coming out with, and I just wanted to make sure that we saw something right here. The female characters that we've shown you before on that right side are full-sized 1/18th characters, but if you look to the left, you'll notice that there are smaller figures on each side of all of these, basically these machines and mechs and robots and basically all of these vehicles. So as you can tell, the little guy on the turret on the back of this figure right here, this vehicle, is noticeably smaller. And I believe Patrick was mentioning that they're going to be 1/24th scale. So they're going to be coming out with 2 scales the same way Acid Rain did. Now, I'm not going to lie, this stuff does look cool. Like, this mech does look pretty badass. It kind of reminds me of the stuff that we got from Avatar, so that's pretty dope. But I'm remiss to say that I don't necessarily care to collect 1/24th scale. I think 1/18th is about as small as I'm willing to go. And I don't know if maybe we'll be getting these figures maybe in a more full size. But yeah, that's just something to note, that a lot of the stuff that you're seeing here doesn't actually go with either those female characters because they won't fit, nor the mechs and androids that I've been showing you in the last couple days. Now, obviously, none of these have really been colored. These are all prototypes. Maybe we'll be getting these in a full 1/18th scale in the same way that Joytoy has done it. But, both Acid Rain and Joytoy have done, their own set of things here. And obviously, they are precursors to what a lot of other companies are going to do. But yeah, for me, these are cool looking, but they're a no-go unless they're 1/18th. Here is another up close of one of the other vehicles. This is more of probably of a flying type, which is pretty dope. And just a little frontal shot just so you can take a good look at it. It doesn't look like the smaller figures are articulated, or if they are going to be, it'll be very limited. But then again, these are pre-production, so we're not sure how articulated they are. Maybe they might be pretty badass. And then this right here is the one right next to it. Again, another kind of sort of tank looking thing. It looks cool, and I'm not quite understanding on whether or not this Fresh Retro stuff coincides with each other, right? Acid Rain has smaller stuff, but they're still from the Acid Rain universe. They're just on a different scale. And so I'm wondering, are these 2 different Fresh Retro IPs, or again, are they just 2 different sizes? And last but not least, we just have a happy little kid who's putting hands on this Fresh Retro stuff, and he looks absolutely excited, and damn does it suck to watch somebody live the dream that I wish I would have dreamt, or live the life that I wish I would have lived, right? I wish I was at a toy convention at that age with my mom ready to buy me something that nobody else had their hands on. But yeah, that's really cool, guys. This is what we're really living for, being grown and being able to do this eventually once this pandemic is over.